I still don't understand why we can't grow our sub count. It's been 6 months.
We're cute and heavy metal and horror. Who doesn't want to watch that?
My employers have.
I still don't understand why we can't grow our sub count. It's been 6 months.
We're cute and heavy metal and horror.
I still don't understand why we can't grow our sub count. It's been 6 months.
We're cute and heavy metal and horror. Who doesn't want to watch that?
My employers have.
Is there a video playing? Does anybody know if
They think it's a unique location.
They sent somebody out here a few years ago to close the place. They're talking about opening it back up now?
There may have been some oversight in the previous inspection.
Let me take a picture of you.
Right now?
It'll be good for the podcast. Here, let me get that headset behind you.
So there was just a person in the graveyard with us last night.
Stacy, this is a ghost.
You're trying to commune with the dead.
I'm not seeing shit, Stacy. Shit's happening to me.
I'm starting to think that Lillian and I are being haunted.
It's starting to feel just like the band all over again.
You want to explain to me what we just did?
There's something going on in that graveyard.
I've warned you over and over again, and you still wouldn't stay the hell away from here.
I need to know if what I'm seeing is real or not.
I
was trying to do it. I was trying to do it, but you kept doing stuff. All right, well, we're on the air now.
7 p.m. Eastern, 4:07 p.m. West Coast, probably 1:07 a.m. Who knows what time it is? It's the Death Rattle Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Remark. With me is Mr. Kanan Becker. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? It's chaos, dude. This
As you can tell,
has been fucking chaos.
As you can tell, I am not at home. I am out of town, and I have a confession to make. I forgot that this week had a Wednesday, and so I did not prepare to be on the show. And Kanan sends me a message on Facebook talking about what we're going to be doing tonight.
Really
and
bad.
I
I
was
don't know if that's. You're chopping up really bad, dude.
I am.
Can
okay.
you guys? Is that on my end or?
I don't know. It might be. I don't know. Chad,
No,
am I chopping up real bad?
Yeah, you're chopping up real bad on your.
I'm trying to tell a story. Okay, yeah. So I guess I'm glitching out. I don't know why. There's no Wi-Fi.
Okay, it's better.
I have to. Is it better now? Okay, I just moved my phone. So
Yeah. Okay, you're good right
Hopefully,
now. So leave it where it is.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right where it is. Let
We
me
got
try to
everything
get that
up
light out of
until
it.
that you forgot there was a Wednesday.
Yeah, so I forgot there was a Wednesday this week, and I'm currently out of town on a job, and so I didn't prepare at all for this week. And Kanan messages me. He messages me on Facebook, and he's like talking about the show, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I completely forgot that it's Wednesday, and he's like, you stupid motherfucker, and like. Which I deserved. I absolutely deserved. I should have prepared. I should have known that I was
exactly what I said. But
I should have known I was going to be out of town. So I apologize. But so that's why I'm on my phone and why I don't have anything prepared. I don't even have headphones. So if there's echo or something, it's probably me. So I apologize, everybody. But it's egg on my face. It just left my head that we even had a show tonight. So we're kind of flying off the seat of our pants, but we have some interesting news to talk about, and we're going to talk about that. But anyway.
Yeah, it's very pertinent, which is why I'm glad we're at least attempting to do a show. Because it's like this story is kind of like about as now as you could possibly get. Like it's what I mean, because you just had the whole thing. Like, I don't know if you know who Hank Green is, but he's like one of the OGs, like one of the biggest YouTubers on planet Earth and one of the most influential. Like him and his brother started doing stuff on YouTube 20 years ago. And so they're like really the pioneers. And then they've also developed this entire huge company that teaches curriculum at schools across the country. Like they're just such like, I mean, they've met the president many times. Like these guys are like big time in the world of academia as well as like YouTube. And it came out last week that Hank Green was using ChatGPT to help him like script out his stuff. He was using, honestly, AI in the way that you should be using it. You know what I mean? But it didn't change the fact that he was using it at all. That, and made this huge, because he has been against using AI in creation of things. You know what I mean? But like the way he's using it is just to help him as like a secretary kind of thing, to like help him, punctuate, get the grammar right, to like, for layout purposes, like whatever. But it doesn't
this
change
is why
it's like a big deal in now this. So
this is where I think a distinction needs to be made, and where both sides I think are ignoring. I think they're ignoring this very important distinction between generative AI and process AI. Right? Because they are two different things.
Yep.
So a lot of people
I feel super differently about either one. You know what I mean?
Like
I am totally fine with one, but when it comes to generative AI, I am as against it as you can be.
Right. So, but the thing is people tend to use them interchangeably, and they'll say AI. They won't say generative AI. So what a lot of the people on the generative AI side will do is go, oh, well, you use AI all the time. You're on a platform that uses AI, and so you can't, which is already a bad argument. It's a really low effort argument that can be dismantled almost immediately. However, it's completely incorrect and doesn't apply to generative AI, right? So.
It gets a little tricky because you could have ChatGPT create you images, video. You can have it do those things now. And on top of that, if you're having it write your scripts, you know what I mean? Like
it's still generative.
Yeah, but that's where it gets tricky, because it's like if you're just using it to help you as like a secretary, which is something I've used, I don't even use it for that anymore because it was honestly taking me more time. It was not helping me because it would fuck up stuff and I'd have to rewrite a bunch of stuff anyway. And so I just stopped using it. But like, I understand people using it for Word documents to just help them as, like I don't know, as like a secretary. But when you're using it to create something, that's where it gets, and there's such a gray area now. There's becoming more and more of a gray area. It's like, I understand why people get the two confused or have very different feelings on them, and
well, I don't think there's a gray area. I think just because ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and all that, just because they can do Grok, just because they can do generative AI, doesn't mean that they should be used for those processes. So if you're using an AI, because like I also use AI, and I'm very outspoken on my policy and opinion of generative AI, but I use AI for process improvement, for answering or for reading and summarizing emails and doing and tasks and adding stuff to my calendar. I do that all the time. I think that's fine. That's like having a digital personal assistant. However,
I mean,
when
it's
you
the
are
exact
generating
same thing as spell check that we've been using for 30 years.
Right, exactly. But the argument falls apart when you come out and say generative AI is bad, and then somebody just comes and says, well, you use spell check, that's AI. It's like, well, yes, but it's not the same thing. You have to be specific. Generative AI is an abomination and is terrible and must not
but
be
where
used.
there
It
is,
must be shot.
But what I'm saying is, where there's a gray area is when it comes to coming up with ideas or writing your fucking scripts. Like, how many movies where we're like, dude, that dialogue sounds totally AI written.
Yeah.
So like,
well, and
there is a gray area now when you're doing.
It's not
like,
though, because that's still. But I don't think that's gray. That's still using the generative property of the AI.
Yeah, I'm saying it's gray as in it's hard to prove, and it's hard to, because if Hank Green hadn't come out and admitted to it, there's no way anybody would know. Like, he could have denied it like most people do, and everybody would be none the wiser. You could talk shit all you want, but if he denied it, there'd be literally no way you could prove that he didn't, or that he wasn't.
Right, you're talking about. Yeah, you're talking about how it's getting harder. You're talking about how it's getting harder and harder to detect.
Yeah, he came out and admitted it because he felt like it's important. Like, he felt like he was going overboard with it. And he was like, you know what? This is a sign that I'm using it too much. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad you guys called me out, because he's like, I don't want the things I say to sound like generative fucking AI.
Well, I give him props for that, and I won't hold it against him. I think that's what you should do. You should come out and you should admit it, and you should say, look, I was doing this, and I started to realize I was doing it too much, and I don't want to do that, and so now I'm stopping. And I think that's completely appropriate. I think that's very mature. That's very wise. And if anybody wants to start dragging him for using it after coming out and saying that, well, fuck you. You're an idiot.
But that's where we have an interesting thing, because then you have, on the other hand, the reason that we brought this up,
which is Eli
Roth, who is the complete opposite of this, who's basically proudly saying, not only did I use AI, but I used it in my fucking movie.
Right. And so therefore,
whoa, dude.
Therefore, I won't be watching Ice Cream Man. He won't be getting my money
because
I won't be talking about it.
I still will, because I still feel that I need to cover it. I need it. Like, if people ask me, because here's the simple fact of the matter. Regardless of him using AI or not, if it's good, if the AI looks good and all that, I would like to be able to be like, yeah, the AI is obvious in it and it looks like shit, or actually you can't even tell there's AI in it. The whole thing looks like shit, or it looks great. You could have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, I need to, if I was just watching it as a fan, I probably wouldn't go see it. But because I feel like it is part of my job and people are going to ask me for my opinion on it, and already have, like, I'm not going to be someone, like, I can, but I choose to not be someone in the world that, is just going to bury my head in the sand when it comes to it and ignore it, because it's not going anywhere.
I don't think that's burying your head in the sand. I think that's drawing a line in the sand and saying
but boycotting it as a fan is one thing, but when you're not being able to cover it when you do this as a profession, I think that is kind of burying it. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
You're not, because
you're not acknowledging
look,
it.
All right, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You obviously do whatever you want. It's your channel, right? So I'm not going to tell you.
I know. I'm not telling you that you should go see it.
Well, yeah, but I think more content creators, though, more people in the horror sphere should come out and say, I'm not going to cover this film because of this. And like, I don't think I think that's a worthy cause. And I think there's plenty of other movies that you can cover.
But I think there's more power in it when you're a content creator, and especially when you're an influencer on some level, you know what I mean? I think there's more power in being able to speak out against something, and not from I haven't seen it, but I'm not, but I'm against it, or I've seen it and it looks like fucking shit, and this is why you shouldn't be using it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's more power in that, because if I'm just a fan of something, right? Like, say I was looking for a car. I was going to buy a car, and I listened to Marcus Brownlee talk about cars, and he's like, I refuse to drive this car because of whatever, right? There's something in it that he's against, which, that's fine. I'm going to take his word on that car less than I would on a guy who drives the car and is like, the car drives like shit, and a lot of it is because of X thing. You know what I mean? Like, I understand boycotting it, and I can still say that when I review it, but at least I'll have an opinion on the product and be like, not only am I against what he did and used, but the movie is also crappy. You know what I mean? Or if it's fucking amazing, I know it's not. I'm like, I don't know enough people that have seen it already to know that the movie's not amazing, but like, I think that it's important to still face this head on, and AI is not going anywhere. And it's important that we see it and call it out and be like, this is the wrong way to use this shit. And then eventually, if someone does find a way to use it in a positive way, we can also be like, this is the right way to use it,
I don't think, but okay. So I think what it boils down to is how bad of, like, how heinous of a crime is using generative AI. And I liken it to, if you're going to use your car example, I'm not this brand of car because they, like, let's say, grind up babies and use it in the paint, right? So let's just say that, because everybody's against grinding up babies. Wait,
because it's more.
I don't think it's a bad example because.
But it's plagiarism.
Okay,
it's stealing.
But it not
so
only.
Like if someone
more than just plagiarism, though.
If someone made their car based off of stealing other people's designs, you know what I mean? It's more that.
But I think it's more than plagiarism. Because it's more about. It does more than just steal art. Like, it's a mockery. It's a bastardization of art. It is a mockery of art. That's what it is. There's absolutely nothing good about it. So that's why I liken it to something where it's like, look, I don't care how good or bad the movie is. If this aspect is in it, I am not supporting it in any way. I'm not talking about, I know we're talking about it now, but I'm not going to go watch it. I'm not going to review it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say anything about Eli Roth. I'm just talking about this movie itself, because it's that bad.
I have a big problem with Eli Roth in this case. I actually have less a problem if it's like some Joe Schmo, new creator, new director, new filmmaker, right? Who we find out is using AI, like the guys that did the movie Late Night with the Devil, right?
Late Night with the Devil.
I don't have a big issue with those guys. I didn't then, and I still don't now, because one, it was accidental usage. 2, it was a minor usage in that. It was just a little background kind of artwork that, you know, it was. And so it's like not that big of a deal. They came out and said very clearly, if we had realized it was in there, we would have never used it. And so even if that's a lie, the fact is they came out like saying this is a bad thing. We're not for it. Right. Versus Eli Roth, who not only has he come out and like with his chest out, so to speak, say, yeah, I use AI in creating this movie, right? So not only has he done that, he's not, and I mean, he may now with the flack he's getting backtrack all this shit, but at least prior to all the noise, he said in an interview that he used it. So it wasn't like he was trying to hide it. And he was well aware that it's being used in the movie. So it's very different than Late Night with the Devil. But then on top of all that, this is Eli Roth. He is one of the most respected. You can hate him all you want. You can not like his movies all you want. That's fine. But he is in the genre, in the circle of horror, he is one of the most respected people in the business because of how much he's done for small up and coming artists. He started his own company so that he could help support indie film and like all this stuff. He has done a podcast to help promote little indie horror and the genre of horror. Like he's done all this stuff. And then you go and do this, which is like completely like cuts off at the ankles all of that positive stuff you're doing for that little nobody artist, because that's who this stuff hurts. This stuff doesn't hurt Stephen King. You know what I mean? This doesn't hurt like the big filmmakers. This won't hurt Eli Roth's career. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what it's about. It's about these little artists who this could be one of their first jobs, like some little intern kind of artist who would have made this artwork or whatever, you know, and help get them into the business. And you know what I mean? And now not only are they not making money off of it, but you're not even giving them the opportunity that it could have given them.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people are like, oh, they're just doing shit that like an unpaid intern would have done. Right. Well, yeah, but the unpaid intern may have not gotten paid, but it would have helped get them work in the industry and help them have a reason to have an internship in the first place.
Right. Matt, yes, Eli Roth came out in an interview and said that he used generative AI in Ice Cream Man. And so there it is. And so so that's what we're talking about right now.
This is Deadline.
Yeah, so that's from Deadline. Do you want to read the article?
Yeah, hold on. There we go. All right, you can still see it, right?
I mean, yeah, I can see it, but like,
no, I just need to make sure that I'm not going to be sitting here with the screen and you guys can't see what I'm looking at. All right.
Casey says I'm in the back rooms. I know.
Yeah, I know. It looks like that. I know. It's like got a tannish yellow look. All right. So it says Ice Cream Man features a scoop of AI. That's dumb. That's a really stupid way to open your article. Anyway, that's the revelation from horror director Eli Roth after he admitted to adopting the technology in a few scenes of the slasher film, despite initially saying that animated sequences were brought to life traditionally. In an interview on Monday, the Hostel Helmer was asked if he used artificial intelligence in Ice Cream Man scenes featuring Fletcher Studios style animation. That's even worse. So it's not only using AI, but he's literally copying like a specific artist style.
He ripped off somebody else's art style. That's dude. That is heinous.
Yeah. Let's see. The introduces kids and transforms them into killers. I have an animation background and I drew it. Roth initially told website Polygon. I worked with the animation team and wanted it to look and feel like there's an old Mickey Mouse cartoon where he goes to a haunted house and there's brooms and dancing skeletons and this kind of flowing dancing stuff. and the jittery style of animation. So I drew the loop cycle and the styles. Then I had some animators help kind of make it a little more fluid. And I worked with an artist to give a bit of an old grimy jittery feel. But I sat there and drew out the frames that I wanted. Okay, well then why did you use AI? Like if you could have done it all yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like you could have just done it all yourself and you didn't have to run it through fucking AI. And yeah, I mean, like,
or
that shit just blows my mind. It's like,
to finalize it or whatever. It was later revealed that Ice Cream Man credits included a mention of Dark Half, an AI visual effects company. Confronted with this, Roth issued a statement to Polygon clarifying his original remarks in the interview. I misspoke. AI was used in a very small portion of a few sections in the film. He said, it was an opportunity where technology and creativity came together and helped bring my vision for the film to life. Bullshit. If you weren't caught, you would have never fucking admitted it. Dude. You were only caught because everybody's like, well, that company is an AI company. So,
dude, that's
Roth was not
that's worse than I thought.
His clarification referred to the animation sequences in the Ice Cream Man. Deadline has contacted his rep for comment. The film opens on August 7th. Whatever, dude. That's just him trying to fucking, like, I don't even know. Like, that's just, I don't have a lot of respect for that at all because he was trying to get away with it. Like, I almost respect it more now that I think about it. If he had said I was using, or I chose to use it, but then to be caught and come out and say you're using it, it's like, oh.
God, that's so slimy. Oh, that sucks.
It is. Especially when this is the guy who fucking helped a movie like shit. What was the name of that movie? It came out last year. Fuck. The guy made it all in his apartment in LA.
Jimmy and
Sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy who made this company, the company that is putting out this movie, Ice Cream Man. You know, he created this company so that he could put out little films like Jimmy and Stiggs. And it's like everything about Jimmy and Stiggs was blood, sweat, and tears and took years to make. And yet, if they had chose to use AI, they could have done the movie in a fucking weekend. You know? Like,
that's so slimy.
Where we're gonna draw the line when it comes to this, because if it's a matter
of usage, if you do anything and run it through a prompt and have it spit out some plagiarized slot machine slop, then it's immediately in the trash. Immediately, it's if you use any generative AI.
But hold on, say what he said. To me, it sounds all like bullshit, in my opinion, what he said. But like, say what he said was true, that he created this, you know, he drew up these panels, and then they literally just ran that through AI to help animate it in the way that he wanted. Like, yeah. Because that's where it gets hard. It's like, do we, like, the technology exists.
No, yes, we do. We condemn you for doing that. There is nothing AI can do that real artists can't already do. And also, like, this is not an excuse. This is not an excuse for
anyway, because there is already processes that will do that exact thing that aren't using generative AI.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, you're also
there's visual animation stuff that will animate from one, like if you take a still image and it's like this, and you want it to go from here to here, you can literally take that picture and this picture and run it through the program on like all these visual, you know, like all these God damn it, all these not filters. Like there's software that does that.
Yeah.
Where it's not using generative AI.
Right. But the thing that I'm saying now is you're Eli Roth. Okay.
Damn it, you cut out.
All right, am I back? I'm back.
There you are.
Am I still gone?
You're good.
Okay. You're Eli Roth. Okay. You can afford, or you know somebody who can do this for you, or who you can talk to and say, here's sketches. I want them to be animated like this. I want this fluidity, blah, blah, blah. And they can do it. You're not somebody like me who doesn't have those connections, who doesn't have that notoriety, right? And who still, I'm not saying that people who are new or upcoming should use AI, should use generative AI. I don't think anybody should use it. I'm just saying you have an even less of an excuse being Eli Roth to use any generative AI at all. You have no excuse. And so that's what
it just makes no sense.
Right. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No sense
and it's just
do it. There's so much
heinous.
of this movie, like, and that's also why I need to see this, because there's so much about this movie that I'm hearing that it just doesn't make sense. Like, why fucking release this movie if it's as bad as everybody's saying? Like, why bother putting this in theaters? Like, why spend money to promote this movie? Like, why do any of this shit if it's as bad as everybody's saying? Like, everybody's talking about it as like by far the worst movie he's ever done, and definitely the worst movie this year.
Well, the trailers made it look really good. I remember watching the trailers on this show and being excited about it.
Me too, which is what makes all this so disappointing. But I mean, everybody I'm hearing, people I trust a lot, are like, this is by far the worst movie he's ever made. And like a lot of it sounds like it is just the stupidest writing, where it's literally like just kids running around killing people and nothing else at all. And to the point where you just get like completely bored of it being so repetitive. But I don't know, man. I need to see it so I can give my opinion.
Is it your birthday movie? I can barely see on my phone. I can barely see the chat. So I don't know. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yep.
I can't even take this off the screen
happy
now.
Birthday. It says, I want DJ to sing happy birthday.
My birthday is on the 7th. What's today? The 5th? So your birthday is on Friday?
No, hold on. It says, I want DJ to sing happy birthday to B Movie.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was asking if it's B Movie Theaters.
Birthday.
It's B Movie Theater.
Let's see.
B Movie Theaters is
singing,
please don't sing.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy birthday,
He
B
says
Movie.
his birthday is
my
on the
birthday's in a
7th.
couple of weeks. My birthday's in a couple of weeks, so I'll be singing to myself on whatever that stream
so
is.
happy early birthday, B Movie. Your birthday's on Friday.
Hopefully it's a good one, buddy. So yeah, we are getting
I don't know.
into a time,
It's very frustrating.
especially as we're getting into a time, especially with AI, where I think people really need to draw lines, and I'm getting to that point myself. I've started disassociating and unfriending and unfollowing people that I see posting generative AI as just a matter of principle. And I'm not changing my opinion about these people. I'm just not going to support the work. I don't want it on my feed. I don't want the attention, and I don't want to give them the attention.
I've just never believed that that's how we solve problems, though.
By not associating.
Yeah, because like if that's
how are you supposed to solve it? Because you're not going to. How are you supposed to? How are you supposed to solve it then?
Because most of the stuff is in ignorance. Like if a lot of those people, and I'm picturing, because I have a lot of them on my timeline when it comes to Facebook, that use all these dumb pictures of themselves and all these stupid AI nonsense. And like anytime I've called any of them out, they're all, it's just for fun. Like it's not hurting anybody and blah, blah, blah. And like, I understand where they're coming from, because if you're not an artist and you don't think about the bigger picture and yeah, maybe in your little world, it's not going to affect an artist because you wouldn't have paid some caricature artist to make a caricature of you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. But I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about the boomers that just go around and.
But I'm talking about anybody.
I'm talking like, specifically about people.
If we don't call it out, but in a way that we're having conversations, then if we're just going to divide lines, that's just all it does is literally just separate us as a human species. It's what we've seen.
Yeah, but do you know how discourse goes on?
Nothing is getting solved. Like
right, but that's exactly, you know how discourse goes online. You're not going to comment on somebody's AI image and say, hey, bro, you know, just want you to think about what you're doing. You know, this is kind of, you know, bad. They're going to tell you to go eat shit. Everybody is. And I'm not.
It's not like that. That's not necessarily how you solve it, but how you solve it is by, like, I have a friend who does the Epic Film Podcast, right? And every time on Twitter, every single time he sees an AI image, he'll repost it, but he'll like say something about how it's hurting people or how it's, and it's like, he's not just commenting on it and talking to that person and being like, you're a fucking idiot, blah, 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 because that isn't going to fix anything. Instead, he's using it as an opportunity to call it out, but also why it's a problem. And like he makes it very clear, and he's always talking about it. And I don't necessarily always agree with what he is saying, but I think that that's a better way, because like I said, you can't turn your back on it and refuse that it is here to stay. It's a matter of where is it going to fit in our society, and how can we make it fit in society in a way that hopefully doesn't destroy too many people. You know what I mean? Because it's not going anywhere. There's way too much money and like way too many people that control this world that are putting every resource into it. It's not going
right.
anywhere.
Do you know why they're doing that though? Because it's losing money. It's not actually doing what they was going to do. OpenAI came out and we're like, we need $10 billion or we're going under. $10 billion or they're going under.
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. When you have unlimited amounts of money being put into it, it doesn't matter if it loses money or not. They're forcing this to happen. And it's going to happen.
And if people if people roundly reject it, there's not anything you can do about it. If you're roundly rejecting it, there's nothing that they can do. They can dump as much money into it if they want. If people are going to roundly reject it and not use it and not see it and push for labels being used on AI generated content. I mean, Facebook is already doing this, thank God. Spotify is not verifying artists that use generative AI.
YouTube, 49,000 channels.
Yeah, YouTube just did a huge AI wipe. So the more that we actually reject this and call it out, doesn't matter how much money. What we do is because like, the whole here to stay argument here. Let me just finish this point. The whole here to stay argument, fine, whatever. It's here to stay only because the function that it can perform. What the staying should be is just relegated to boomers making stupid cartoons. That's where we relegate generative AI. And I'm not talking. And when I say I'm disassociating with people, it's because it's do that. I don't have time to comment
anything. Because then what you're doing when you disassociate like that, what you're doing is allowing that person to live in an echo chamber. Because if everybody were to disassociate with this person, they would have no clue that there's anything wrong with what they do. This is what you see with these big celebrities and stuff,
You think
right?
they live under
Because
a
their
rock?
entire circle is yes men, and their entire circle just agrees with everything they do, and they refuse to listen to anybody else outside of that, like Joe Rogan. The only people Joe Rogan ever hears from are people that agree with everything he does, right? Because they kiss his ass. If Joe Rogan were to actually hear what the real people thought of a lot of the things he does, I think there is at least somewhat of a chance that it would change a little bit of the things that he does. At least there would be a chance that it would change what he would do, right? But when you refuse to hear anything outside of that bubble, then of course you're not going to change, right? And so what I'm saying is, if you disassociate, if we just refuse to acknowledge anybody that's doing things that we don't agree with, because it actually happens to me every day, all the time.
And you change people's minds about it?
Yeah. I don't. Change is one thing. Enlightening people or adding something for them to chew on, that's another thing. It happens to me all the time. It's about how you approach things. When you approach something with an open heart, you know what I mean, and willing to learn from them, as well as share the things that you understand and learn and or that you understand and know. When you come to conversations that way, people are more receptive to hear from you and your side and why you don't agree with what they're doing. But if you come in with the stone wall, like you're just wanting to argue, you're just wanting to tell them that they're going to hell, basically, like a lot of this is why I hate a lot of religious people, because that's how they approach conversations, of like, it's as simple as this. You either believe that my belief is 100% right, or you're going to hell. You know what I mean? Like when you start a conversation that way, there is no conversation. You don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I've just been on.
A good example of that, because it is something that I'm very against, because I see how destructive it is and how destructive it will be going forward. But I also know from watching technology since I was a little tiny kid, I saw what happened in the music industry when all these people started dividing lines when it came to streaming and MP3s and physical media, and it almost completely killed physical media. And if they had instead worked with it, understood it, they could have figured out a way where physical media could have still existed and coexisted with streaming, and we could have gotten what was good about streaming and MP3s without it killing so many careers, so many musicians, like doing so much destructive, like it almost killed the music industry, plain and simple.
No, I disagree. I think the music industry, I disagree. I think the music industry, because I was in the music industry too, way back in the day. And I think,
but you were super young.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was very connected, and I saw where things were going. And it wasn't about working together with streaming and physical media. It was the fact that it was way cheaper and it took way less resources to move to a digital streaming service than to continue to produce product.
Think about what you
have
just
less
said.
Overhead, huh?
Think about what you just said. That doesn't that sound exactly like what AI is?
No, that's not what it is. That's a false aspect of what it is.
If you can get the same results for
but you don't. You're not.
It's
not the same result. It's not.
But it will.
It's not the same result. No, it's not. It never will. It never will. You know how generative AI works.
Problem.
It will never equal out or be able to be comparative to human created art. I'm sorry, dude. It will never happen.
The best CGI that is done right now, you cannot tell between practical and CGI. You can't. The best CGI now is completely undetectable. It's done by someone that knows what they're doing. We see it every day, every movie. Like the best movies, you'll use CGI that you can't even tell is there. For one, because they learned to blend it with practical and marry the two together in a way that's seamless.
Okay, fine.
This is what I worry about, because AI if we keep on just shaming everybody and like trying to ruin careers and can cancel people like Eli Roth, even though I'm the one here yelling at Eli Roth, right? The truth is, if we keep canceling people and people see this, they're just going to get better at hiding this shit. They're still going to be using it. They're just going to get better about hiding it. And when eventually AI is good enough that we can't tell, there'll be no way of stopping it.
Okay,
because it will get to where it's good enough that is, if we don't know going in, we will have no idea. Dude, I'm already seeing images, like still images, AI still images that you cannot fucking tell. You cannot.
I can tell every single time I see an AI.
No way,
image.
dude. No way. I see them all the time. And the only reason I know they're AI is because I know the little tricks, the little things to look for, and the fact that I'm generally being told like this is an AI image. But if you don't know the tricks, if you're someone that is not in the industry of creating things and or photography and whatever, you are not going to fucking know. And so me and you are forever. Maybe we will always be able to tell the difference, because like CGI is a great example. Like if me and you were to see a scene, we can still pick up probably in a lot of cases where CGI is being used, right? Your average Joe, the people that have the money to go to the movies that, you know, like, or what supports movies happening, right? They have no clue. Like you cannot take your average 35, 40-year-old human in the United States and point at a screen and say, tell me where you're seeing CGI. They won't be able to tell you. And it's like maybe 5 years before AI is there as well. It may forever be something me and you could detect.
It's not 5 years.
Like, dude,
they've been saying 5 years.
Look
the
where
last
it
10
came
years.
in 2 years.
Yeah, it's still obvious. It's still bad. There's still very obvious tells.
Dude, that Will Smith.
Like, so they use generative. Like did you see that? Hang on. Did you see that? Young Washington movie?
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. So they use generative AI in that scene where they're in the frozen river. That frozen river is generative AI. I picked it out as soon as I saw it. I was like, "Holy shit, that's AI!"
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I had to confirm. That's not the
best, but that's not the best there is.
Yeah. Okay, fine, but it's still present. It's still
not
present.
A very good. It's like a really shitty budget.
The movie was
put together.
The movie was okay. Look,
they were using pretty regular, like easily, like stuff that me and you could get our hands on. That's the AI they were using. If you have Steven Spielberg getting state-of-the-art AI right now, I fucking guarantee you that most 35, 40-year-old humans would not be able to tell it was AI.
Okay,
and what I'm telling you is this. Because we're artists, maybe we'll always be able to tell the difference. But your average person won't, and that's all that matters. And so we have to figure out our morals and where we stand on it and how we can live with this now so that it doesn't matter if that 35, 40-year-old can pick up on it or not. They are against it on principle. And we have a place for it and not a place that it ruins things. It's like, dude, it's exactly like the music industry, I'm telling you. Because like when streaming first started and MP3, like it sounded like crap compared to like, you know, a record and or a CD, right? It sounded like shit compared to that, but it got better and eventually got to where it was good enough that your regular person didn't care. And yet you could still right now, you could still hear the difference. Like if I were to put a CD of like a really well, you know, done musical piece or whatever on something, play that and or play with the streaming version of it, you can still tell the difference, but your average person can't tell and they don't care because it's not worth the money to spend $20 to hear that song versus it free on Spotify.
Rockstar, do it. Send me something and I will tell you which one's AI. Send me 2 exact images, which one's AI, which one's real. I'll tell you which one. And you
you can tell.
You better have that. You better have that. You better have that $100 ready.
anything you do
I
right
will
now,
tell you.
anything you do right now as a regular person is not going to be able to pass by like most artists, right? But there is state of the art shit. There is some really, really good shit that I'm seeing that I'm going, dude. I saw one.
I want to respond to your technology thing. So there's a difference between the advancements in technology and what sounds good and what sounds bad. Like you were saying, how the digital music technology for MP3 players, iPads, and all that sounded bad at first, but then it got better and better and better. I don't think that that's an apt comparison to generative AI, because generative AI is
why? But why?
Here's why. I'm literally just about to tell you.
I'm saying, if you get to the boil it down, why? This is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, so why it's not the same is because the way the process in which you deliver art doesn't matter. It's the art itself. You still make music the same way. You just put your music on a record, on a CD, on a thumb drive, and now it's just completely digital. That is still, you're still making music. The ethics behind it are inconsequential. When it comes to the delivery system, the ethics don't matter. The fact that AI is stealing art, it cannot be copywritten in the United States as of now because of the process. You are not creating art, so therefore you are the ethics of it are that it's a cheap, shameless way to have an image that you put zero effort, skill, time, or yourself into, and you're making mockery of art. That's what it is. It's not a delivery.
It is literally the highest form of piracy.
Okay, so
it is.
This is
like,
we're not okay with. Look at this. Hang on.
We're not okay with people taking recording an NFL game and selling it as their own product. So why are we okay with generative AI? Why are we okay with generative AI stealing from some unknown artist and making money off of their back? Like my friend Sean Berner has already had a bunch of his artwork copied by AI.
So look, this is what happens.
They're selling his merch like crazy. And it's like he gets no money. Not only does he not get money for it, he doesn't even get recognition for it.
So Rockstar wanted me to look at a picture. I told him which picture was AI and which was. And now he's going to move the goalpost, and now I have to do 10 photos and 5 videos, and I have to pass all. Here's the thing. I'll fucking do it. I just want you to see this is what happens when these AI advocates come on here
because
and try to
that is completely missing the point. So I don't want you to do that, because the point you were getting at is what I've been trying to say all along, is that the ethics are what matters here. It's not about the final product, because the final product will reach a point. The final product will reach a point where you cannot determine the difference. Like, even if you want to say that you'll always be able to, even if you think you'll always be able to, I don't care. That doesn't matter, because even if some people will always be able to.
Yeah, you're talking about the layman. I'm talking about me.
That's why those are the people we need to get through to. Because the morality, the ethics, the morality of it, that's what matters. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're not going to care about the ethics. The layman is not going to care about the ethics. Yes, I know, you're right. That's why I'm not engaging with it.
No, they will. They won't be able to see the difference, but they will care about the ethics if you get them to understand why it's hurting everybody.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. I have a heart out. I got to go.
I have never seen AI come up with an idea, like an original idea.
Can't. It can't.
And that's why it matters. It doesn't matter if they can create something that looks exactly like a Van Gogh, right? They didn't come up with something out of nothing like Van Gogh did. So if we lose Van Gogh,
it's a layer.
We'll never get a new Van Gogh.
Right. You're right in what you're saying, but I think it's layered. I'm just disagreeing that it's ever going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to
But
tell.
I don't think that matters. Like, I feel like that's missing the point because technology always gets better. You know,
Sure,
like
I agree with you.
By the time AI gets to AI will get to a point where it's at least good enough for most people, right?
Sure.
There'll be another
Generative
technology
AI.
on the horizon. There'll be another technology on the horizon, like, you know, where like robots. Like, there's already a question of what happens when robotics, you can have sex with a robot and it feels better in every way than a human. Are you going to stop having sex with a human? And it's like,
I am all about that. No, I'm kidding. All right, I gotta get out of here.
No, I mean,
I have to
in
go.
a lot of ways, that's the same dangerous road to go down. You know, the more we replace
sure.
humans,
I
we lose.
Okay,
humanity.
I got to think about that. I'm not sure I agree. I got to think about that, but I do have to get out of here. I have to go.
I'm done with all this
But
stuff.
anyway, guys, sorry about the rough start. Sorry about the hold. Me forgetting that Wednesday existed in the middle of the week. But we will be here next week, and we appreciate you guys coming on. It was a slow news day, but thanks for having the AI conversation with us. The guy who was betting me about the AI thing, you can just send us an email. It's in the about section on the channel. So just send me an email and we'll do that. So thanks everybody for sticking around. This is the Death Rattle Podcast. We love you. Next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, and 1 a.m. over there in the UK. We will see y'all next week. This is the Death Rattle Podcast. Bye.